let's go ahead and put together the TLC Rotary Attachment, and I'm pretty much just going to go right by the instructions and we'll put her together. It's pretty easy, straightforward. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put some screws on these holes, and how you look at it is if you're looking at it like this, and the holes are, the slot here is to the right of you, and then you see the holes. Basically, you're going to take some of these small screws and you're going to put them in there. Start it with your hand so it's pretty snug. And then you're going to take your Allen wrench, get them in there, and I would say you don't want to put them all the way in, you just want to get them in there enough, maybe just till they come flush on the other side at the most, I would think. And you're going to do the same thing for all these down here. That would be my bird you hear. Same thing, so you're going to go ahead and put all of them in, and then you're also going to put one at the top here. This is going to be for the tension arm. And this one is going to be a little bit different. So this one you're going to want to put in, it's going to go pretty far in, definitely not all the way in. And how you want this one is this piece here is going to fit right in there, but you don't want it really wobbly like that. You want it just so it's just snug in there. And if it doesn't go in that, then you have it too tight. You can see here, if it doesn't go in that, then you have it too tight. So mine's pretty good actually. I would say tighten it up till it just gets in there nice. Yep. And then you should be good to go. So you have those 4, or 5 rather, and then the one up top here. You can see that. So now what we're going to do is turn the plate over, and from the back of the plate here we're going to put the wheel here. Let's get this screw, which is the M5, and we're going to put a large washer. And then we're going to put the pulley, and basically these O-rings on all of these, they just slip right on. Same thing with the small ones, the small rings just slip right on the wheels here. And then we're going to put the washer on here, put this through the wheel, and then get another large washer here. And this is going to go in this hole right here. And if you notice, it doesn't have a whole lot to bite, so you definitely do not want to over tighten this. So basically you're going to put it in there just so you can get it like a little bit hand tight. And then you're going to get your Allen wrench and you're going to tighten it in, and you're going to just till it stops snug. You do not want to over tighten it at all. But you're also going to make sure that this wheel can still spin. It's really important that it does still spin. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we have our wheel here, and then we have these on, and we're going to now mount the motor. And basically this is going to come through and it's going to rest up against your wheel here. And so what we're going to do is put the bottom, just these 2 screws here, and the top one's your adjuster screw. So we're going to put the bottom one in first, and we're not going to tighten it down yet. I'm going to put it in. This might be a little bit hard to see because everything's black on black, but hopefully you get the idea. So really just it's kind of loose right there, and we're going to tighten up the top one first. So basically, you'll notice this is going to allow it to move, and you want the gear on the stepper motor to just be touching your wheel here, your drive wheel. So basically, I've put my 2 fingers right here, if you can see, and I just kind of like pull it together, not tight, just snug, pretty snug, and then you're going to tighten up the top screw. You never want to over tighten any of them because it's acrylic, and then keep it there, and then you're going to want to tighten the bottom one. And you'll notice now when I turn my stepper motor that this wheel turns with it and vice versa. So that's pretty good right there. So everything's turning with it, so that's that. And the other thing is you're going to want to make sure that your harness wire is going toward the back of it. So when you have it on your machine like this, like if you're looking forward at it, your back control board is back here and your laser is running this way. Your back control board back here, you're going to want the wires coming right to it. You don't want it going around or up over or anything like that. You just want to come right back to it. So there's that. So let's go ahead and put the other little wheel on here. And what we're going to do is we're going to get one of these little babies here. We're going to get a little a little washer. And then we're going to get one of these little wheels. And then we're going to get a nut. And we're going to tighten down that nut right onto it. If you can see here what I'm doing. Basically, I'm just put the rod piece, a washer, and then the wheel. And tighten that down. I'm going to do this with all of them, actually. Just tighten it down with your finger. It's fine. No big deal. And then you're going to take another little washer. You're going to, you're going to put it on this side. And then you're going to put it in the slot. And then put another little washer. And then one of these little nuts. Now, you'll notice on this side is flat, flush. The nut is flush with the plastic, and this side is kind of recessed a little bit. You want the flat side. So make sure the flat side goes against the acrylic. And just kind of tighten that down. Doesn't have to be super tight. Maybe give it a little bit of a gap here because that's where your cup's going to sit on. This is your adjuster for it. So, and that's pretty much, that's the front plate right there. It's pretty easy. So now we'll go to page 2. And I'm going to move this up over here, out of the way right there. And then we are going to take your other adjuster arm, and we're going to do the same thing with these other two. We're going to get some washers. We're going to get some pulleys and some nuts. So this one, oops, we're going to put a washer on. Then we're going to put a wheel and then a nut. And then another washer. Just snug that down. Put another washer on it. Little tiny little things. Set it right there. Do the exact same thing with this one. These are for the back end of your cup or tumbler, whatever you're cutting on, glass or whatever. Same thing, you have your rod, a little washer, the wheel, and then we're going to screw down this nut. And we're going to put another washer on here. And then we are going to basically make sure these are up and down. And we're just going to put this in here. I done messed up. I knocked it all over. We're going to put it through here. Then we're going to put another washer and then another nut, or then the end nut. Same thing, you want the flat side. You don't want the side that's recessed, you want the flat side right up against the plate. Here. Just kind of, let me move it over here, just kind of tighten that in. Just hand snug. Same thing here, we're going to push it through. Put another little washer. So babies are tiny. Then the other, the end nut. Okay. Just kind of tighten it on there. Okay. So those are good, and what you want to do is make sure that those wheels spin freely. They should if you did it correctly. If not, maybe take it apart, make sure that you didn't forget your little washer in here. And so then what we're going to do now is take the slide plate here, and this is going to mount up against this here. So how this is going to work is you're going to take these, you're going to put a washer on here, same thing, another one, a washer on here, and then we're going to, basically you want to make sure your wheels are facing away because it's going to slide like this, and then you're basically going to put put this in the hole here, and you're just going to, in the acrylic hole there, and you're just going to hand tighten it. Or I'm going to keep it loose for right now, but that's how it's going to go. It's going to go right in the hole there. Same thing here. And then I like to just make sure this is all flat. Just snug these down, make sure they're in place, like that. So then you have the wheels here, and that's those pieces there. So there's another one. So now let's do the tension arm. So basically with this facing away from me, this is the side I'm going to put the 2 screws on. So this is away from me, and then I have these 2 screws here, the small ones that I'm going to put in here, and they don't need to be all the way in. They just got to be, I like to get them started snug with your hand and then tighten them in. Again, I would say maybe just when it comes flush on the back side, that's fine. Just want to make sure it's in there tight, because these are what the rubber bands are going to rest up against. Same thing with this one. In there. It's not in there very straight. Oops. So again, they get pretty snug. And that's actually good, because you're just going to have a rubber band rested on these. But you don't want them loose. You don't want them, you know, all the way in, because you got to wrap a rubber band around it. But that is that piece there. So now let's go ahead and add on the extra pieces here. So let's add this piece here. We're going to put a big washer. Then we're going to take your little swing arm here, put this on. And then there's a little plastic washer. We're going to put that on. And then it's actually going to go right inside the hole here. And it's going to go in on the opposite side. The screws are here, and it's going to actually go in this way, if you can see how I have it here. Yeah. I know it's all black, it's hard to see, but. So then we're going to put another washer. And then we're going to put the nut on here. Tighten that down. So if you see how I have it here, so you can see that, like so, and then basically the other piece is easy. I like to just kind of do it like this so it stands up so I can have access to it here. So the same side, we're going to go another small nut here, and then we're going to put the wheel on here, another small washer, and it's going to screw right into the little hole on the end here. And you start it by hand. You absolutely don't want to over tighten this one for sure. Just until it's snug, just like that, just lightly snug. And then make sure the wheel turns. So that's important, that it all turns freely. And this one is going to be your adjuster wheel also, pretty much for all of it. So then there's that. Okay, so now we are going to assemble the unit. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put this together here. Basically, we're going to put the front piece here, then you can have the back piece here, and we're going to take the larger bolts and we're going to put them in the frame here. Pretty easy to do, if you can see. Basically, if you can see, I'm just putting them in there like so. No big deal. Screw them in. Best to do it flat. I like to just put them in by hand. I don't like tighten them all really, really tight just yet. Just snug with your hand. And now, before you put on the back plate, this is really important. You got 2 T-slot nuts here. And so what you're going to do is you're going to slide these in the back here. They only go one way, and they basically just slide in. And what they're for is they're going to be so that this can go on here, and these are going to screw into it. So make sure you put them in. Don't forget to slide them in. There's 2 of them around the back here before we put this back plate on. So once they're in there, then go ahead and put screws in the back plate here. Again, I just like to do a little bit snug with my hand. Another one here. Okay. So one thing you want to make sure is that it's square. You're on a flat surface and it's nice and tight. And then you're going to take your other Allen wrench and you're going to go ahead and just hand snug that down. You do not want to over tighten this. Again, this is acrylic. It will break. So you just want to make sure it's snug, not super tight. And that's it. So now I'm good to go there. And basically this piece goes on here like this. So you're going to take your washer on this, and these are actually going to go into the T-nuts that we just slid in there. Whoops. So this one is going to go in here. And I don't like to tighten them down tight until I get the other one in, because then I got to move it all around. And this one goes in here. And there you go. So once it's in there, basically just snug it, just lightly tighten it with your hand. That's it. And so what this is for is, without doing the tension yet, when you have a cup, like so, beautiful. Basically what you're doing is you're putting the cup here like this. Let me move this up a little bit for you to see. And you're going to put it right here, so it's not really up against the front, but it's just pretty darn close to it. And then you're going to slide this in until it's just really close to the cup. You definitely don't want it touching either. And then you can snug these down here so this doesn't slide anymore. However, you might need to adjust these wheels, pulleys, whatever, wheels back and forth, so that, you know, based on the size of your cup, and you want it straight. You know, when you're looking at it, you're going to want it straight, which that isn't even straight myself here. So you might want to move the cup over a little bit so it's there. Plus you're going to want to adjust it to make sure that it's up a little higher. So yeah, it's you're going to put it there and then tighten up that back piece like so. Same thing here, like so. And then I'm going to adjust these again. So you'll have to do this for each one of your cups here. And that's it. So basically that's just going to turn right on that axis. And that's that. So your tension arm, and this pretty much just goes here wherever you want it. If you want it on, you know, if it's a smaller cup or a bigger cup. I'm just going to put it on the second one for now and just kind of show you how it goes. When you put your cup in here, you could put it on top if you want, or you can put it on the inside, however you want to do it. Inside probably be better. Make sure this is tight. You don't want it to come down off it. And then basically your rubber band just goes around the top screws to the bottom screws and gets really tight. That's your tension right there. So now when the motor turns, I'm going to turn the motor, you're going to see it turning the cup with it. So I'm turning the motor, and that's how it goes. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you now how we connect it up to the machine, and that's it. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, so this is now with my 6550. Here's your gantry, and then of course the rotary unit, and then here's the back cards. So again, you're going to get the cable that came with it, and you're going to get the thicker end. Mine happens to be like this, and you're going to get the thicker end. You're going to plug it into your stepper motor like so, and you'll notice two little grooves on it that they're going to go in the grooves there. It only goes one way, but don't force it. Whatever you do, if it doesn't go, then turn it around. And I like to put it back under the rail, and this is why I told you I like coming back this way. Could you imagine if that was facing upward or that way? So we're going to come to the back here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera around to show you the boards. Now on the back side here, as you can see, we're coming up underneath of the rail, and I have the old board, and I also have the new board. So if you still have the old unit, that's perfectly fine. Basically, the Y access harness goes here, and this is the one you're going to unplug, and you're going to plug your other harness into, or your rotary into it. It's going to plug into your y-axis. And so your old board is right here. And on the new board, it is actually this one. So if you're using it, like obviously you're going to unplug that one. And then it's going to plug right back in to take its place here. And just like that. So your old board is here and your new is right there. So just make sure when you unplug your old or your new, see the red wire where you unplug your old one, whether it's here or whether it's here, just make sure you plug in this cord or this cable same exact way. It'll be red, blue, green, black. So you're going to want to plug it. You're not going to want to reverse it around like that. So that's it. Pretty much it. Take that, plug it into place, and then just kind of move it out of the way. Make sure everything's good, and then have fun. I'm going to look at some other videos on how to configure them. Good luck.
Jungle.